Welcome to the channel, where we uncover the hidden world of rare coins and reveal the fascinating stories behind the treasures that often go unnoticed in everyday life. In today's video, we dive deep into some of the most surprising and valuable coins ever struck, coins that may look ordinary at first glance but hold incredible history, rarity, and collector demand. So sit back, relax, and get ready to explore the secrets that make these pieces truly extraordinary. Coin number 1. The story of the 1970 Washington quarter dollar begins long before the first planchet ever touched the dies in Denver. And this coin's quiet power lies in the way it transforms what appears to be an ordinary, heavily worn piece of pocket change into one of the overlooked treasures of modern American numismatics. Even in a very dirty, unattractive state, this quarter commands curiosity because collectors understand that rarity is not always about shine or perfection. It is about survival, historical context, and a combination of features that rarely align. The 1970 may seem common at first glance, but once viewers learn why seasoned collectors hunt for high-quality survivors from this year, they begin to see how even the roughest example can carry surprising value. To appreciate why the 1970 quarter has become so collectible, one must understand the shifting economic climate of its era. The United States was moving through a period marked by rising costs, tightened budgets, and a strong emphasis on mass production. The Denver Mint in 1970 worked under intense pressure, striking millions of quarters needed for nationwide circulation. Yet unlike earlier decades where careful craftsmanship was emphasized, this period focused on speed and quantity, and many coins left the presses with striking inconsistencies, weak details, and poor preservation. This historical backdrop created a situation where truly well-preserved coins, or even coins that survived without severe wear, became surprisingly scarce decades later, giving this date-mint combination a reputation for being far harder to collect than most people realize. When examining the design, the charm of the Washington quarter reveals itself through its rich symbolism. The obverse features George Washington's dignified portrait, originally sculpted by John Flanagan, but by 1970 the die details had softened from years of reused hubs and relentless mint pressure. On many examples, including those found in grimy circulation, Washington's hair curls appear shallow, the cheek lacks depth, and the relief is noticeably flat. On the reverse, the eagle, wings spread in power, retains its iconic form, but Denver-struck coins often display weak feather separation, indistinct talons, and a mudded olive branch. For collectors, these flaws are not disappointments. They are signatures of the era and important indicators of how difficult it is to locate sharply struck survivors. Rarity enters the story through condition rather than mintage alone. While the Denver Mint produced millions of quarters that year, very few survived the decades without heavy wear, grime, environmental damage, or the abrasions of daily circulation. Most were used relentlessly in commerce, tossed in drawers, stored in humid conditions, or absorbed into vending machines until their details nearly vanished. Because so few high-grade coins exist, and because even moderately preserved examples stand out against the ocean of worn pieces, the 1970 has earned a reputation as a challenging date for serious Washington quarter collectors. A very dirty example still holds value because collectors know these coins often circulated far longer and suffered far more abuse than quarters from many other years. Collector demand for the 1970 has grown steadily, driven by the coin's difficult condition profile and its role in completing high-quality Washington quarter sets. While the Wheat Penny series has its key dates, the Washington quarter series has its own underappreciated sleepers, and the 1970 is one of the most unpredictable. Enthusiasts seek it not because it is a famous rarity, but because they know its scarcity becomes clear only when assembling top-grade sets. Its combination of weak strikes, circulation abuse, and the numismatic shift of the early 1970s gives it a distinctive position among modern collectible quarters. For many collectors, Acquiring a strong example feels like discovering a hidden key date that most people simply overlook. In today's market, even circulated examples in very dirty or unattractive condition can surprise collectors, with values beginning around $700 and climbing into the $4,200 range for sharply defined, higher-grade survivors certified by major grading services. The pricing reflects a blend of scarcity, collector demand, and the unpredictability of finding clean, well-preserved pieces from this year. While the coin may not always command the dramatic headlines of silver-era quarters, its performance in auctions and private sales has shown that knowledgeable collectors recognize its long-term potential and are willing to pay strong premiums when quality aligns with rarity. For collectors hopping to find one, the best strategy begins with studying details, luster remnants, and strike strength. Even in dirty condition, look closely at Washington's hairlines, the sharpness of the jaw, and the clarity of the eagle's wings. Pay attention to the coin's surface under different angles of light. Dirt can hide originality, but it can also mask serious damage. Seek out rolls from older savings, estate collections, or coin shop backstock that hasn't been searched in decades. Grading is critical, and sending a surprisingly nice example for certification can dramatically increase its value. The 1970D rewards patience, careful eyes, and a willingness to examine coins others dismiss. As this chapter on the 1970D Washington quarter dollar closes, its importance becomes clear. A coin born from a transitional era, shaped by mass production, and made rare not by low mintage but by low survival quality. It stands as a reminder that numismatic treasures still hide in the most unassuming places, waiting for collectors who understand their quiet significance. And now, as we move forward, get ready, because the next coin in this series carries a story with even deeper surprises and an even more dramatic rise in collector value. Coin number 2, the 1971 D Washington quarter, has become one of the most compelling modern-clad issues in American numismatics, admired by collectors who understand how deceptively challenging this date can be in high-grade condition. What seems like an everyday quarter at first glance is actually a highly desirable piece for those building top-tier Washington quarter sets, especially because Denver-struck examples from this year exhibit striking inconsistencies that make well-preserved coins exceptionally uncommon. Its demand continues to rise as more collectors turn their attention to the copper-nickel era and discover how elusive a truly sharp 1971D can be, giving this coin renewed importance in today's numismatic market. When viewed through the lens of history, the 1971D emerges from a period of transformation in U.S. coinage. The switch from silver to clad coinage had settled in only a few years earlier, and the mint was working under pressure to keep up with soaring circulation needs fueled by a heavily cash-reliant economy. Produced at the Denver Mint during a time of expanding commercial activity, the 1971D quarter was struck with efficiency as the top priority. Although it doesn't commemorate any special event, it represents the early strength of the fully modern quarter era, where durability, speed of production, and mass distribution shaped the mint's workflow. This was also an era when inflation concerns began to affect the nation, making coin production both a logistical necessity and a reflection of shifting economic conditions. From a design perspective, the 1971D showcases the long-standing artistry of John Flanagan's portrait of George Washington on the obverse, paired with the powerful eagle and olive branch motif on the reverse. Struck in copper-nickel clad composition with a diameter of 24.3 and weighing 5.67 grams, the coin carries the standard specifications of its era, yet contains subtle characteristics that distinguish strong examples. On the obverse, the ear, jawline, and cheekbone are often weakly struck, and collectors prize those rare specimens where these elements appear crisp and fully rounded. The reverse similarly suffers from inconsistent feather definition on the eagle's wings, particularly near the shoulders. Clean, bright surfaces with clear luster are highly desirable because most coins from this year show dulling, friction, and muted reflectivity from heavy circulation. Rarity plays a defining role in the allure of the 1971D, not because of limited production numbers but due to the scarcity of quality survivors. The Denver Mint released these coins directly into circulation, and few were intentionally saved at the time. Most endured decades of use, accumulating scratches, dulling, grime, rim nicks, and machine wear. High-grade examples with well-struck details and minimal contact marks are surprisingly difficult to find, and the situation is further complicated by minor errors such as die cracks, off-center strikes, and misaligned dies, which add extra value when encountered in clean condition. Condition rarity is the true hallmark of this date, and it's this scarcity, not mintage alone, that continues to drive interest among serious collectors. As the modern quarter market expands, the 1971D has shown notable value appreciation, especially among certified high-grade specimens. Well-struck examples with superior surface preservation can command strong premiums, with values typically ranging from $850 for respectable higher-grade coins to around $4,600 for exceptional, sharply defined pieces in top-tier grading categories. Auction results reflect a steady climb in interest as registry-set competitors push prices upward in their pursuit of the finest available examples. Private collectors, too, have come to recognize the long-term investment potential of quality 1971D quarters, particularly those showing unusually sharp detail and bright, original luster. For collectors seeking to acquire a standout 1971D, careful inspection is essential. Key areas to evaluate include the sharpness of Washington's hair, the clarity of the eye and cheekbone, and the feather structure on the reverse. Look for coins that retain their original mint luster without excessive scuffs or dull patches. Certification by reputable grading services is strongly advised, as professionally authenticated examples command significantly higher prices and offer long-term protection of value. Storage should involve non-PVC holders, dry environments, and minimal handling to preserve the delicate surfaces that make this date so challenging and rewarding. Understanding the true place of the 1971D in numismatic history requires recognizing its dual nature, a coin that millions handle daily, yet one whose finest examples are legitimately rare and increasingly coveted. It blends historical relevance with aesthetic appreciation and investment potential, making it an ideal choice for both experienced collectors building competitive sets and newcomers discovering the excitement of modern-era hunting. Its unique blend of condition scarcity, design complexity, and rising market visibility ensures that its appeal will continue to grow. Coin number 3, the 1972 D Washington Quarter, has earned a special place in modern numismatics, not because it is widely recognized as a key date, but because collectors eventually discovered how unexpectedly difficult it is to locate high-quality survivors from this year. Its appeal lies in the way it bridges the shift from early silver-era nostalgia to the fully modern copper-nickel-clad construction, representing a chapter of American coinage defined by mass circulation, hard use, and limited preservation. Today, experienced collectors actively seek the 1972D in top condition because it stands out as one of the more challenging Denver issues of the 1970s. And demand for well-struck, sharply preserved examples has grown steadily as the Washington Quarter series continues to gain respect among serious numismatists. When placed within its historical environment, the story of the 1972D Quarter becomes even more compelling. Produced at the Denver Mint during a period marked by economic strain, inflationary pressures, and rapid expansion of commercial coin use, this issue saw extensive circulation almost immediately upon release. The Washington Quarter series had already undergone major change with the shift away from silver in 1965, and by 1972, the mint focused on quantity over finesse, working to meet the needs of a growing cash-based economy. While the coin does not commemorate a specific figure or event beyond George Washington himself, it represents the post-silver industrial era of American currency, a time when durability, not numismatic refinement, drove production decisions. A closer examination of the coin's physical features reveals the familiar elements of John Flanagan's long-running design, yet the 1972 D carries its own subtle distinctions that collectors often study carefully. The obverse showcases Washington's profile with its characteristic forward gaze, but many Denver-struck coins from this year exhibit soft strikes on the hairline curls and the cheekbone, the result of worn dies and relentless press cycles. The reverse features the iconic heraldic eagle, wings elevated and clutching olive branches, but feather definition often appears flat or incomplete, especially on lower-grade pieces. Struck in copper-nickel clad composition with a standard diameter of 24.3 and a weight of 5.67 grams, the coin appears ordinary at first glance, yet high-grade examples possess a clean, almost metallic brightness that sets them apart. Collectors prize specimens where the eagle's wings show crisp layers and Washington's jawline remains sharp and fully rounded. Rarity enters the discussion not through low mintage. After all, millions of these coins were produced, but through survival and condition scarcity. Denver's 1972 circulation output was intended strictly for everyday use, so few examples were saved at the time of minting. The majority entered circulation immediately and remained there for decades, accumulating heavy wear, grime, abrasions, and contact marks from constant use in vending machines and commercial exchanges. Truly high-grade specimens, especially those approaching gem or near-gem condition, are surprisingly difficult to locate, and rarer varieties such as die cracks, off-center strikes, or filled mint marks add additional layers of desirability. Even a mildly better preserved coin stands out dramatically from the countless worn examples still found in bulk change. As the market for modern numismatics has matured, the 1972 D quarter has seen a notable rise in value, particularly in premium grades. Well-preserved examples with strong strikes and minimal surface distractions can sell anywhere from $900 for entry-level higher-grade pieces to $4,700 for exceptional certified survivors that demonstrate the clarity and sharpness rarely seen in this issue. Auction houses have reported increased interest from registry-set competitors, who push prices upward for coins that meet strict grading thresholds. Private sales and online collector markets also reflect this upward trend, reinforcing the idea that modern clad issues, once dismissed as commonplace, now hold meaningful investment potential when condition rarity is taken into account. For those hoping to add a strong 1972 D to their collection, attention to detail is essential. Look for sharp strike points, especially on Washington's hair detail, eyebrow ridge, and the eagle's inner wing feathers. Surface preservation matters greatly, as even minor scratches or contact marks can severely impact value in higher grades. Certification from reputable third-party grading services is strongly recommended, both for protecting the coin's value and verifying authenticity and quality. Storage should avoid moisture and direct light, and collectors are often most successful locating strong examples through estate collections, long-time coin shops, or auction lots where older stashes of Washington quarters occasionally resurface. When stepping back to appreciate the broader significance of the 1972 D Washington quarter, its appeal becomes multifaceted. It is a coin shaped by the economic realities of its time, showcasing a historic design, produced in massive numbers yet surviving in strong condition only rarely. Its aesthetic appeal remains timeless, its historical context meaningful, and its investment potential increasingly recognized among both seasoned collectors and newcomers discovering the depth of modern coinage. As interest in clad-era rarities grows, The 1972 D stands as a testament to the idea that even the most ordinary circulating coin can evolve into a highly respected collectible. Coin number 4. The story of the 1978 D Washington quarter dollar begins with the surprising realization that even a very dirty, heavily worn example can hold a place of genuine importance in modern numismatics. This coin, struck during a period when collectors rarely saved circulation strikes, has become one of the unexpected challenges within the Washington Quarter series. What makes it collectible today is not just its age or design, but the fact that truly well-preserved survivors from this date are far scarcer than many people realize. The 1978 D stands out as a reminder that rarity is not always obvious at first glance, and that even coins appearing damaged or unattractive can carry historical weight and collector appeal beneath the dirt that time has layered upon them. The historical backdrop of this coin adds depth to its modern significance. Minted at the Denver Mint in 1978, it emerged during a period of economic adjustment in the United States. The nation was grappling with rising inflation, energy concerns, and major financial shifts that pressured the mint to maintain enormous production numbers to keep up with circulation demands. This was the era when electronic payments had not yet taken hold, and physical currency remained the backbone of daily transactions. The Washington Quarter series, already decades into its run, continued to reflect both the reliability of American coinage and the relentless pace of commerce. In this landscape, the 1978 D quarter was produced not as a collector's item, but as a workhorse, one destined for immediate use and long-term wear. Turning to design details, the 1978 D quarter carries the enduring artistry of John Flanagan's sculptural work. On the obverse, Washington's iconic portrait presents its familiar blend of strength and calm authority, though examples from this period often show weakness in the cheek, jawline, and hair curls due to the mint's reliance on heavily used dyes. The reverse showcases the majestic eagle with outstretched wings, perched atop a bundle of arrows and framed by olive branches. While the copper-nickel-clad composition remains standard at 5.67 grams and 24.3 millimeters, the subtleties that collectors value, sharp feather details, complete rim definition, and full luster, are difficult to find from this year. The 1978 D's technical character lies not in dramatic redesigns or special markings, but in the elusive clarity that only a few surviving pieces still retain. Rarity becomes especially evident when evaluating how few high-quality examples exist today. Although millions of 1978 D quarters were minted, nearly all were immediately absorbed into circulation and remained there for decades. Because the coin was not saved by collectors in significant numbers, most surviving pieces display extensive wear, grime, surface scratches, and softened design elements. Even in very dirty condition, a 1978 D quarter can still be intriguing to collectors because dirt often conceals the underlying potential of a coin that has survived countless hands and environments. Condition scarcity, rather than mintage, is what gives this coin its modern numismatic power. Truly crisp, well-struck pieces are far more challenging to locate than casual collectors might expect. Collector demand for this date has grown steadily as the Washington Quarter series continues to gain respect for its historical depth and condition-based challenges. While the Wheat Penny series has its famous key dates, the Washington Quarter series has its own sleepers, and the 1978 D is one of them. It attracts collectors not because it is a widely recognized rarity, but because those building advanced sets know how difficult it is to secure a high-grade example. This coin stands out through a combination of steady circulation, overlooked numismatic value, and the general lack of attention it received during its own decade. Today, its scarcity and strong condition makes it a highly desirable addition for set builders, registry competitors, and collectors who appreciate modern-era difficulties. In the current market, the value of the 1978 D Washington Quarter can surprise even experienced collectors, especially when preserved better than most. Depending on grade, luster, and strike quality, examples can range from about $1,100 for solid collectible pieces up to around $4,300 for exceptional high-grade survivors that stand far above the average circulation-worn coin. Auction data, private collector sales, and online numismatic marketplaces consistently show that top-tier 1978 D quarters attract competitive bidding due to their condition rarity. Even moderately attractive examples see elevated interest because the date is notoriously difficult to find without significant flaws. For collectors searching for this coin, the key lies in recognizing small details that separate an average piece from a truly desirable one. Even if a coin appears dirty, examining it under proper lighting can reveal whether the underlying surfaces are smooth and well preserved. Look closely at Washington's hair texture, the depth of the eagle's wing feathers, and the sharpness of the lettering. Coins with original luster peeking through layers of dirt are especially promising. Sending a strong candidate to a reputable grading service can significantly increase its value, and collectors often find their best discoveries in older rolls, estate collections, or long-forgotten stashes of circulated quarters that haven't been searched in decades. As this exploration of the 1978 D Washington quarter dollar comes to a close, its significance becomes clear. It is a coin shaped by economic pressure, heavy circulation, and an era when few thought to preserve it. Today, it stands as a quietly powerful rarity that rewards those who look beyond the obvious and understand the hidden potential of modern American coinage. And now, as we turn the page to the next chapter in this series, prepare for another surprising piece, one whose story carries even more intrigue and another layer of numismatic history waiting to be uncovered.